they'll say, this is what I'm wearing. And this is kind of what I had in mind. And we pick a mood board together. We pick other people that look similar to them that might have similar glam. And we build a character, whether it be a disco queen, whether it be, an ethereal bride or a fairy princess. It's almost like Halloween every day.
Oh, I'm in. I'm invested. Hello and welcome to the Beauty Ritual Podcast, the podcast that hosts conversations about age, beauty, and identity in a world where the pressure to conform rises every day. This is your dose of perfection correction. And today, join me in welcoming my guest, Chelsea Sule, who has worked for notable brands such as Anna Sui, Versace, and Playboy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited.
Welcome to the Daniel K. Palmer salon that hosts the show.
Thank you. It's really beautiful in here. I'm really happy to be here.
Doesn't it feel homey?
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice.
There's nowhere else I'd rather shoot. I've got to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
So listen, I want to just double back to what we ended on, which was Playboy, because you seem to have a love for sexy people that I share.
I do. I really do. And that's a pretty interesting thing considering the way I was raised and the really very morally pure life that I thought I would always lead. And then in my 20s, that started to change, and I started to embrace sexiness and embrace sensuality and my divine feminine. And in that, I started being attracted to sexier brands, sexier models, and sexier hair and makeup.
I wanted to ask you where you started.
Yeah.
But I thought we were going to start at cosmetology school. This is even better. We're going back to the beginning. We're going back to a true genesis, which was I don't know, sexual awakening. What?
I mean, we could get really deep, but I don't think we want to go that direction today.
We don't have to, but wherever the divine feminine leads.
Yes.
Listen, okay. What actually got you into beauty?
What actually got me into beauty is my mom. I was born and raised in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I was
Midwest.
Basically raised in my mom's salon. Yes. My whole family's still there. They were my after-school babysitter, and when I was 14, they became my first job. I was her receptionist.
So your mom owned a salon? Is she a stylist?
Mm-hmm. She does hair.
Ah.
Yep. She owned a salon, and she became an educator for Goldwell for a few years. She had a beauty school for several years.
Really?
Yep. And now she is just in studio. So she's got a small studio at a Soulless salon, still in Green Bay, and she does hair, lashes, and permanent brows. So
what does she think about some of your work, especially because your work has leaned into celebrity, it's leaned into high fashion, and it's, to me, it's very editorial. So the salon world is very different from the editorial world.
Very.
They're both in presentation, but in two very different ways.
Yeah, definitely. There's a huge difference. And I think I always knew in a part of myself that I wanted to go this direction, this editorial Hollywood celebrity. I would watch a lot of movies and TV shows that took place in Los Angeles or New York. I always was attracted to this. And I never think she understood it. And even to this day, sometimes I'd be like, you're not going to believe who I worked with today. It's Beyonce's photographer. And she'd be like, cool, who's that? And I think she really loves what I do and she's really proud of me, but she doesn't understand the world at all. So she's found her own success and she's excited for me to have my success. So
I think an interesting point about beauty is part of the reason you like beauty is getting people ready for something. But part of being interested in the type of beauty that you do is what you're getting the person ready for. So let's say your mom works with people who are presenting at a business meeting, or they're getting married, or they're having an engagement party. Those are all things that could mean a lot to her, right? Mm-hmm. And she's getting people ready for that, and it excites her. Someone who leans more into the entertainment and embodied kind of presentation, it makes total sense that you love entertainment, that you love something that is very feel like embodied was like the right word.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of performers are they're very much into expressing themselves in a more artistic way. It's not just like, oh, this is a big moment in my life, right? They might have that too.
Yeah.
But they are looking to do something a little different.
Mm-hmm. My thought of it is, the thing that comes to my head or my mind is character building. I'm building a character. I'm helping someone build a character based on the event, whether it be a wedding or a red carpet event or any event whatsoever. They'll say, this is what I'm wearing, and this is kind of what I had in mind. And we pick a mood board together. We pick other people that look similar to them that might have similar glam. And we build a character, whether it be a disco queen, whether it be, an ethereal bride or a fairy princess. And that's going back to why I love sexy people. They love to play dress up. And they're so much fun to build that character with, because you get like this sexy costume out of it. It's almost like Halloween every day.
Oh, I'm in. I'm invested.
Yeah.
I also like the character building aspect because before I even started doing hair, I used to get a lot of inspiration, even just I love coloring, right? It's one of my main things. I do a lot of hair color, but it would be like Kim Possible.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows what that orange copper situation was. And don't you want it in real life? You can have it.
Right. Right. I looked at my friend the other night while she was wearing a green tank top, and she has long red hair, and she had plants behind her. I'm like, you are poison ivy tonight.
Right.
I just got excited for her, and I didn't even do her makeup or her hair. She just looked like poison ivy to me, and I just pictured her as poison ivy all night. So, and same goes for men, everything. I imagine a character in my mind when I'm getting someone ready.
Do you do men's grooming as well?
A little bit. A little bit. It's definitely not my specialty, but
okay.
And neither really is hair, but I'm capable of doing some hair. So for sure.
It.
Yeah.
So you lean more towards makeup.
Definitely.
So when you were in the salon, you were probably more surrounded by hair. What made you choose makeup as your main modality?
It's actually pretty funny. Especially when I was younger, I've gotten over this a lot. I had issues touching people's scalps or like their skin, like their body skin. I was always like, I could never be a massage therapist because I don't want to touch someone's skin, like their body skin.
Okay.
And I didn't I would have to shampoo sometimes people's hair when they'd be running over. They'd be like, hey, Chelsea, can you pop in and assist? Our assistant's out today. So I would do that, and I would have to shampoo, and I'd be like, oh God, no, I just can't do this. I can't do this. And I'd have to really breathe through it. But I've never had an issue touching faces. I love it. And not many people want hand to face touch anyway. So it's mostly brushes. Some people have really learned to trust me and they enjoy that face massage. But for some reason, faces have always felt more touchable. And I also just noticed from day one, I'm better at it. I'm a better painter than I am a sculptor. And I just really appreciate it.
Know thyself, rule number one. It really is, especially in any kind of aesthetic, business, practice, service. I was really curious about medicine at one point.
Me too.
And I sat in on a few autopsies and I was like, wow, that same reaction you had to the scalp. It's like, nope. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I never even got to the autopsy. Once I dissected a pig, I was done. I couldn't go any further with medical studying.
Right.
That and hospital lighting just doesn't do it for me. I can't imagine being there all day.
She's an aesthetic girly. It's verified. It's true.
Yeah. I love science though. I really love science, and I want to find a way to incorporate it into my ultimate goals in my life. So,
okay, what's that? Say more.
Whether it helps with formulation, whether it helps with product development one day, I would love to eventually get into more consulting with brands, and just I really like the scientific process that I learned and the type of research that you have to go, like the true fact checking, the getting your sources from the right journals, and just, even getting out in the field and touching things in nature and like learning different things. I really enjoy science. So
where do you think you'd get that education?
Well, I went to college for biology and marine biology. So I have a degree in that.
So she's got it.
I've got it, but I think I would need like a PhD to truly do what I would want to do to incorporate both worlds.
Okay, so we're gonna have to circle back on what you do with that, because since you have a background, and you're starting to explore it, who knows what the options are?
Yeah, I'm open to it. In my own time, in the universe's time, and also I think in the beginning of it, consulting is going to be my next step with my degree and with my experience. So I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
So when we have traversed a little bit back into your, your start in beauty, I know from our previous conversations that you mentioned being an agent.
Yes.
And that's not really having your foot in like the artistic field, right? That's kind of more removed. Now, if someone wanted, I think honestly, a lot of people listening probably have no idea that a makeup artist or a hairstylist or even an esthetician and a manicurist could have an agent the way that an actor does. So, an actor gets signed to CAA or to Wilhelmina, and they have an agent that like gets them jobs, right? And a manager. Well, hair artists do too. That's mostly in the editorial world, in the freelance world. How does that work, right? Can you let the people know?
I definitely can. I personally started most of my fashion career being represented by an agent and being developed by an agent or agency, or few agents actually. I started with one in North Carolina when I was in college.
And development means what?
Connecting me with photographers, connecting me with models, helping me build a portfolio through test shoots, helping me get smaller jobs to help me start building my resume, putting me out there for jobs, pushing me to their clients as a potential either assistant or artist based on the level I was at.
So a makeup artist wouldn't go on an audition necessarily, but they would be connected through the agent to the job via their contacts and their experience?
Correct. Yes. And when you're an agent, say you get a job for Versace, a job for Louis Vuitton, or really anything, even a smaller brand like a swim brand. I do a lot of swim stuff. They'll say, do you have sexy? They'll say, do you have any makeup and hair artists, or do you have any makeup artists only that are great with skin, that are great with light makeup, beachy hair, and just a very natural look? This is what we're going for. Who do you have on your roster that you can recommend? And this is our budget, because they have to find someone within the budget. So an agent will have anywhere between 5 artists and 20 artists that fit the bill based on the job. And they will pitch those artists and their portfolios to the client based on, the personality, the budget, and what they're looking for. And then the client will choose someone. And so the agent will also help to negotiate any higher rates if the artist needs a higher rate, payment terms, cancellation terms. They're kind of their protector in a way. And then they also help them build up their portfolio through more test shoots and more similar clients.
Are they ever a gatekeeper?
Totally.
Oh,
and they have their favorites. And I said I would never have my favorites when I was an agent, but I'm going to be honest with you. The artists that are the sweetest, the artists that work the hardest and get the best feedback, and the artists that are always trying to work on their portfolio, can't help it. They become your favorites. You want to push them more because they're doing the best work. Anyone that got an attitude with me, anyone that didn't take feedback well, anyone that got bad feedback on set that I had to report back and they didn't like it, I had a hard time pushing them again.
And that's not even being a pick-me girl. That's just being a good person.
Exactly. Exactly.
So were you doing makeup before you became an agent?
Yeah.
And then what happened? You're an agent, right? And you're watching all these people kind of do your passion. What was that like?
Hard. It was very hard. So I started doing makeup young, kind of on the side, built a portfolio. And then due to I was always due to a whirlwind of like life circumstances that pushed me to my new city or pushed me to my next place in my career. My car was totaled in a hurricane. And instead of buying a new car, this is in North Carolina, I knew that I wanted to move forward with my career. I knew North Carolina was really holding me back. And during that hurricane, my friend and I were bunkered down without power for 5 days, and we had like some major heart-to-heart conversations. And when I found out how much money I was getting for the car, I said, I'm going to take this and I'm going to start over. I get a rental car for 60 days. I'm moving. I'm going to send some emails to agents in New York, Chicago, and Miami, because at the time I didn't want to go west yet. Thought that was a pipe dream. And Miami got back to me and they said, it's about to be season. Come down here. Let's do an interview. And I had a friend that kind of helped set me up with an apartment. And that was all she wrote. I got to Miami. Almost immediately, my agency shut down within a month.
Was this COVID or
no?
It just was life.
It was just life. And like, I had a few friends in Miami warn me like, hey, like Miami hasn't been great for the fashion in the past few years. It was kind of it was 2016. So long story short, within a year, I had a new agent and my new agent knew how much I did not like being in Miami. It just wasn't right for me. Beautiful city, so much fun to visit, not right for me to live in personally. So he called me one day, and again, right after a life circumstance, my dog just passed away the day before. And my guy I was dating broke up with me. So it was like all these things at once. And I was like, I gotta go. And he called me and he was like, how do you feel about living in LA? And I was like, yeah, it sounds like a pipe dream. It sounds great. He's like, what if we hire you as an agent? And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, do I have to do you need to interview me? And he's like, I know who you are. I know you'd be good at this. You have a degree? Yes. You have a resume you can send me? Yes. Okay. Well, you've got a few people on the inside rooting for you. So I'll run it by the boss. And if you can do within the next 60 days, move to LA, we'll pay for your expenses. You're in.
Talk about out of the blue.
Out of the blue. It was like my little dog went up to heaven and sent it down to me.
Yes.
That's how I felt.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, I worked for that company for 3 years, got recruited by another company right when it was time, like right when I was looking for some better benefits and some more opportunity, got recruited by another one, and then worked for them for 6 months before COVID happened. And we got shut down. There was some back and forth, work from home, PPP loans, unemployment. It was a lot. And in the meantime, I didn't have much to do on my computer. So I started testing again and building my portfolio in LA. And I got back on set and I said, this is where I belong. And I can never go back into an office again.
I'm so happy you got back into the art, out of the business and into the art. But what's really valuable about having been in the business is, what would you tell a young cosmetology student that dreams of being an editorial about the process of getting signed to an agency? Because I'm sure as an agent, you did sign other artists. So what was that like?
Yeah, I signed plenty.
Was it different every time or was it sort of the same process?
It depends. If they were based in LA already, it was pretty much the same process every time. It also depended on their experience level. If I had a celebrity artist coming in saying, hey, I need a new agent, I heard great things, easy peasy, move them right in, get their portfolio up, and like almost have the director take over. Because
so their portfolio is like an actor reel.
Yeah, basically. Okay. And then, but if it was more of an up and coming artist, I would help them build their portfolio. They'd probably go on more of like a new artist board, a little bit more assistant level. So they'd be building their portfolio through tests and editorials, as well as taking smaller jobs and assisting bigger artists to get more experience.
Got it. To grow themselves.
Yes.
So you know all this inside juice. How, when you started getting back into the game after COVID or during COVID, whatever that like gray period was for you, what did you use for yourself as an artist, having been on the business side?
Well, I signed paperwork, so I could not use any of my connections that I built through the agency, which was okay. I had built on my own outside of it so far.
That's T.
That's what I couldn't use. And that's standard. So if you're with an agency and you want to leave at any point, look at your paperwork because you can get sued. Most of them probably won't, but it's not a good look.
It's not a good look. And
it's never
we're
a good
trying
look.
to be cute.
It's like leaving a salon and taking clients. Like you just don't do it. It's bad. So I couldn't
whatever
use
we
that.
do, we're trying to look cute.
Yeah. And you just want to follow the rules of karma, the rules of, respect.
Right. If people come
Yeah.
after you and it's a natural connection, it's like, it's something, it's not forced.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but in terms of the editorial world, again, very different from the salon world.
Very, very different. So there's definitely rules that you should follow, rules that you have to follow. And then there's the rules of the wild, because really it's who can really catch it all out here. But
I love that.
Yeah.
It really is the rules of the wild, though.
It is. It's almost like a nature hierarchy. It's like an ecosystem. We've all got to figure our ways out. We got to put ourselves first, but still respect what we have.
Yeah.
But what I could use was feedback about other artists that I had gotten through the years. Oh, hey, so-and-so was such a delight on set. She was quiet. She showed up early. She, was on it the whole day. She was never on her phone. She, all of those types of things.
I've heard it from almost every on-set girly that being quiet is number one.
It's a big deal, but there's
It's
a balance.
Huge deal.
There's a balance because some clients want you to bring the energy. Some of them want a little bit more of an exciting vibe. And I've definitely gotten in trouble with clients for being too talkative. And then I've had others say, "What, are you okay? Your personality's not here today. Like, we like you for your personality." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll give you more then." Like,
Interesting.
so everyone's so different. You got to read the room.
Yes.
That's a big one.
So even more than being quiet, reading the room.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what else? I've learned a lot through being an agent. I think a big one is how to build a portfolio, how to get the clients that you want to get based on what you choose to shoot on the side. So if you want more swim clients, if you want Victoria's Secret, you have to do sexy test shoots. They want to see the way you do full body makeup. You have to have body glow, body oil, body lotion, and know when to use each one based on the client's needs. Same thing with the hair and the makeup. You want to make sure it's exactly what that client wants, and then shooting with photographers that might shoot with that brand already and models that might shoot with that brand. So it's very literal. And that's the biggest thing I think I would say I learned.
It's strategic, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's very strategic.
And I kind of love that, because then you're putting this puzzle together of what you want your career trajectory to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And you're almost making yourself like a mood board, like a vision board of a portfolio. So
Literally.
that you're like picking up the next thing and the next thing.
I tell people to make a vision board when they're starting to look at what they want to do out of their career. That's a big piece of advice I would tell someone in cosmetology school. So
I love that.
yeah.
We have to talk about favorite jobs. And you may have mentioned someone that, well, I mentioned it in your intro, one of them, Anna Sui. When I was young, I used to leave 50 tabs open of every runway look. My dad would have to sit on the computer and just be like, X, X, X. And like, could you not open 150 tabs? But that was the only way I knew. So tell me about Anna Sui, because she's iconic. The shapes, the colors. What kind of makeup did you do for her?
So she was a Pat McGrath job in New York Fashion Week this year.
Sickening.
Yeah, so I won't go too crazy on the name dropping, but she's the number one person I've ever
But we
worked
all
with.
know what the look is. So
Yes.
I understand it is a name drop, but also when you drop the name, we understand the look.
Yeah.
We know the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you did on that day.
We showed up at 8. I flew in at 4 in the morning. I slept for 1 hour.
That would be a crustable.
It was not
That would be a lunchable.
not my best day. But you know what? Once I got there, the energy brought me through as I knew it would. So we showed up at 8. We start class. Everything is secret until the show, until after the show. We don't get any inspo. They tell us what we should bring, and then they provide anything that we may not have. Any colors, rhinestones, textures, anything like that.
How many people on the team?
Oh, it depends on the job. I think this one had like 20 models and like 18 artists. So most artists did one person. And also, especially when you're just starting out with someone that high end, you should never show up expecting to do anyone's makeup start to finish. You should show up expecting to jump in where you're needed, wait until you're told what to do, and keep a smile on your dang face the whole time, because if you ever want to go back, if you ever want more opportunities, you need to know your place and you need to wait your turn. So at this point, I've done that. She was my fourth job. Anna Sui was my fourth job with this team, with Team Pat McGrath. And the first one that I did with Anna Sui, but I would love to continue going back to her shows. She actually had a green bottom liner, just like yours. It's like she knew.
I fucking manifested that.
You did. She had a little bit of a green liner.
Really?
Yep. Very, very clean skin otherwise. A smudgy, like, brown, red lip, just kind of like a little bit like diffused, like no heavy liners anywhere, kind of a smudgy black top liner. No major wing, but just kind of like a little bit of a lift.
I'm so turned on right now, you guys. Oh, that sounds like magical. Great. Did you get to watch them walk? Or
yes. Yeah, I had to be backstage holding up my lights, like waiting for them to walk and making sure they're clean and not like they're fully powdered. And the worst part, I was packing in such a rush. I was coming from another job. I forgot my dang set bag. So I had everything in my pockets and I was like, oh my gosh, I really hope to God she doesn't see me. And I like made a set bag out of my tiny little bags and like had them in my armpit. So not my best day at work, not my most prepared. They still wanted me back. They still want me back here and there. So at least I will redeem myself next time. But just to say, no one's perfect.
No one's perfect.
Yes.
And what I will say about hair in general, obviously be over prepared always.
Yes.
Have the extra thing, even if it seems crazy. Have the extra blow dryer, have the extra tool. But at the end of the day, make it work. If you have to be MacGyver, be MacGyver. You have to reach deep inside, find the energy, and make it happen.
You do. You really do.
And trust that you're going to do it.
Trust that you're going to do it.
Those are those moments, the make or break moments, where it's really all about, like, can I keep it cool and can I shine regardless of the circumstances? But obviously set yourself up to win.
Yes, definitely.
Always.
And the team leaders will always do their best to help you set up to win, especially with really experienced teams that do this over and over and over. They prepared me. They said, hey, you might not get a model until later. We have 3 models coming from another show. We're going to have about 15 minutes to get them ready. So you're going to be tag teaming with another one of our lead artists. Get your kit ready for the look and exactly those things and nothing more. And bring a stool because she's going to be getting her hair done at the same time, her nails done, and her toes. And
why a stool though? That sounds like you'd be too high.
Because to put my stuff on.
Oh, okay.
So she was in the hair chair getting 3 people on hair. There's a really cool backstage photo of it.
You're going to show me later.
I will.
Please.
It's one of my
favorites. Even insert it.
But I was like, okay, this is where I shine, is when I have like the pressure's on, but I have some time to prepare. Yes. It's like those very crazy whirlwind rushes, those backstage moments are my favorite. Like, I can't even think. I can barely even breathe. I might be holding my breath. I don't even know. I almost black out. And then I look and I'm like, I just did that.
It's almost like going to the salon is like going for your general like doctor's checkup where like, they're like, hi, there's this, there's that, and then runway and editorial is like ER. Like it's like it's a code. Like it's gotta happen now.
It's sure treated like ER. It sure is.
I love that.
It's really cool. It's really cool. And I've had to remind myself a few times, like, again, you're still just human. You don't always have to be perfect. And at the end of the day, it isn't brain surgery. And there's other people to help you.
Right.
So I think that takes a little pressure off when I have those self-talks with myself. And that's probably why I'm able to do so well, is because I'm like, if it's not absolutely perfect, they're not going to kick me off the team right here and now. They're going to offer me some feedback and maybe pull me back for the next show and say, hey, you might just be assisting on this one. They'll help me learn. They believe in me, you know, and I think that's another thing with self-talk. I just totally jumped conversations, but
I don't think you did, because there's a mental game here.
Yeah.
That we're me using the example of like a medical example, basically. It is talking about like the energy, right?
Yeah.
So part of dealing with that energy, like really high energy, is psychological.
Yeah.
So the mental game is absolutely huge, and it's very specific to that situation. You have to deal with feedback that you can't take personally.
Mm-mm.
Right?
This is never about you.
Right.
It's about upholding the standards of the team.
Right.
And not just the team, but the designer and what that designer wants, what the designer's vision. Because ultimately, anything that you work in fashion, whether it's fashion, movies, anything, you are hired to help someone else create a vision. And so it's never personal. It's about them. And you have to drop your ego and you have to get over your nerves and you have to remind yourself you were hired. You were chosen for this job. And you can do it. This client believes in you. But listen to them. Do what they want. It's not about you. So unless it's a collaboration, then you get to be equal parts. So, but yeah.
I love that because you have a quiet confidence about it. It's not just this like subservient, like I have no say, but it's more so you've really mastered the reading the room.
Thank you. It's taken me a while.
I love that though.
Yeah. Everything I've done brought me here, so far. And there's so much more to learn.
So back to the 50,000 tabs that I had up on my computer, you have to tell me about Christian Siriano because Project Runway, obviously America's Next Top Model, like makeover episode, but Project Runway was super formative once again of getting me into beauty. Like, hello.
Yeah.
And Siriano is dad.
Yeah. And he's adorable too. He's so like tiny and he has a great voice and he's like
so cute.
He's like confident and he has beautiful visions that are so feminine and like just delightful, and his silhouettes are stunning and his fabrics are beautiful. But
so I have to say this. I obviously there's certain clients that like really inspire me and like bring out a certain energy in like, especially when you work with someone who has like a stylist for wardrobe and a stylist for beauty, like you can sometimes have like a deeper connection. And I sense there's like something really interesting that like he interacts with beauty in an interesting way. So tell me about that.
Yeah.
What is his like beauty perspective, his beauty mind?
Well, I think it changes season to season, and I've only worked with him once, and it was at the beginning of my career. And it was actually what launched me into it. I had graduated college. I was feeling a little lost. I was working as a bartender and at a salon at the time. I went through a breakup, usually a breakup that propels me forward. And my friend sent me an audition for Charleston Fashion Week. This is when I was living in North Carolina, so about 3 hours away. And it was led by a team leader. Her name is Ashley Brooke Perryman. She's still one of my favorite people in the whole world, one of my biggest mentors and someone I look up to. And she was literally leading the team of artists, I want to say 50 of us total, for the entire week. And there were like 30 plus shows. And there were 2 major shows at the end. And Christian Siriano was the finale show. He was the biggest designer that they got. He was very established at the time, but still not nearly like he wasn't the household name that he is now at the time. And his finale show was very ballet themed. And I grew up doing ballet. So I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. Top knot bun, tiny little top knot bun, super sleek, no hairs out of place. Very pink and light and airy makeup, barely any liners, super clean skin, just really almost bridal, but softer. And all of the dresses were some sort of like chiffon or tulle. They had a very like tight waist. I think they were wearing like faux point shoes, like for the heels. They were hard to walk in, the models.
Really?
Yeah, those shoes.
You know what I'm picking up about you, and it's so interesting. You're a super imaginative artist. Like I can already when you talk about some of these looks and some of the like the moments you've had, I'm like transported. I can see it. Thanks. I can feel it. It's like I'm there. Thank you. So that has to have a huge influence on your work and who you connect with and the moments that you connect with. It makes the whole arc of your career very interesting. It's so fun. Alive.
Yeah. And it's only getting better. Like now I'm starting to work with more musicians and some sexier models and actresses.
Back to that. Tell me more. Tell me about Playboy. What was that like?
I did one job for them and I want to do more. It was in Miami during Art Basel. I was just there visiting friends and having my first Art Basel, which was so much fun. And my agent was like, hi, any chance you're available for this Playboy launch? It's the launch of, oh boy, I can't recall the name, but they had an online platform similar to OnlyFans. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. So they had it for a little while. I do believe
this is not my forte, so I can't help you.
So they had 6 girls that they had as like their founding artists. So me and an assistant friend of mine got these girls ready and did their touch-ups throughout the day while they did their interviews and their photo shoot and all of that.
Can I ask, was it like, how sexy was it? Are we talking lingerie? Or are we talking a la nude?
I didn't see nudity. And it depended on the girl because there was one
you're doing
girl.
Body makeup. I have to ask this scandalous question. How much body makeup was involved?
Actually, not much on that one.
Okay.
So maybe like a little, because they were wearing bathrobes doing their interviews on like sitting on a bed talking. Like, so like they're in their bathrobes. So like the vibe is sexy.
Got it.
And then they did maybe like a little lingerie photo shoots, but they basically had me in the room waiting because they didn't want too many people on set. They wanted mostly like, hey, they'll come back to you for a touch up. Okay. So, and some of the girls even brought their own makeup artist depending on how famous they were and, you know, where they were at. But Playboy, that job introduced me to a girl who has become my most loyal and most famous and most wonderful client who helps me build so many characters.
Speak on it!
I don't know if I should say her name out loud, but if someone looks at my Instagram, they'll know exactly who it is. But she's an adult film star and she is an epic human being.
Okay.
And she's changed my perspective entirely on sexy work, sex work, the industry, what it means to be sexy, what it means to embody your sexuality.
What did she change exactly? I'm curious.
Again, I grew up very pure. Mm-hmm. I grew up very, very Christian. I went to church every Sunday and Wednesday. I was in Bible camp. And in my early 20s, I started to realize, like, you know what? We all do it. Like, sex is great. Like, being sexy is wonderful and empowering. And there are ways.
We all do it.
We all do it.
So
I hope.
Over here fanning myself. I'll be okay. That's so funny.
And so I started to be a little bit more confident and my perspective changed. I'm so sorry, Mom, for whatever you're watching.
This is not even that bad. Mom can handle it.
I hope she can handle it. I love you, Mom. And I respect you. But it's the oldest industry in the world.
It's a lot of reason we even do beauty, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Beauty really revolves around being, attractive to the opposite sex.
Or same
or
sex, if that's what you want.
Or the non-binariness of it all, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what we forget a lot of times is, why do you put blush on? Why do you do your hair? Yeah. Why is it that when you have a breakup, you decide to have a glow up?
Right.
Why is it that when people get divorced, they suddenly are interested in aesthetics again? Like sometimes you don't realize that how we look is really all about mating, and the beauty industry is the veneer that we use to keep confidence instilled in ourselves. And that is a relationship that we are constantly having to work on and to mend and to bring consciousness around, because it's not a bad thing. I don't say any of that to make it sound or, demonize it. I love it. Obviously, it's my whole career.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated by it. But we do forget that a lot because we tend to lean into a puritanical situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm thankful that I've started to lean in and balance out both sides of who I am. There is a part of me that is very pure. There is a part of me that wants to be seen in a pure light, and that respects everything that I've been brought up to believe. And then there's also a part of me that owns it, that owns who I am, that says, you know what? I'm going to put a little makeup on and wear something sexy because I want to feel good about myself today. And that's going to help. And that's okay. Sure, I have dated people or had friends say you were beautiful without makeup. You don't need makeup. They might be true. That might be true. I personally feel prettier without it, or with it. Sorry. I personally feel prettier with it.
Maybe that was a Freudian slip. Maybe you feel Like
No.
both.
I don't, maybe.
She goes, no.
No. I like being a little glammed up.
This is a perfect segue into a few questions that I ask regularly on the podcast, which is, what does beauty mean to you?
Confidence, I think, truly, at the end of the day. I think it comes from within. Glowing is another word that comes to my mind. And also just like literally like physical artistic aesthetic as well. There are faces that you just want to stare at sometimes. And, that's just the way of the world. When you're attracted to something, it's beautiful, whether that be a human, something in nature, a song. Beauty can be really anything, but I think the biggest and the best beauty comes from within.
It's an energy.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word.
And if you could go back in time to, pure little Chelsea, right? Before she really had this like whole artistic journey and experimentation, what would you tell her knowing everything you know now?
Go to therapy. Start now. Oh,
okay. I say yes.
Yeah. And I would tell her, you know what? You're human. Whatever you feel, whatever things that pop up in your mind that you feel like you need to battle, those are things that someone else told you. Whatever you feel is okay, because it's part of being a human. Like, even if you have like extreme anger at times, it's okay. Learn how to manage that anger, learn how to react in a calm way. But it's okay to feel the emotions that you feel, to think the way you want, to have the urges that you have. So I think that's something I would tell her, is you're not a bad person for having thoughts that your family and friends might not agree with,
Or big feelings.
You're
not a bad person for having a big heart and big feelings.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, as you feel that stuff, it just makes you a better person.
Yeah. Lean into it.
Ooh, great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for joining us, the listeners, myself on the pod, season 2 of the Beauty Ritual podcast. I feel like that was a journey of imagination, and it's part of the reason I really was inspired to like enter beauty, was like that editorial side. I ended up, exploring it in my own way, but this like portion of it I feel is so important because it inspires so many people and like young professionals to want to like further explore and to know about it. And thank you for all the little inside secrets that you gave us.
You're welcome.
Those are so valuable because a lot of times you have nowhere to start.
Yeah.
You're given nothing. It's all gate kept. It's all booby trapped. And so every little thing, every little breadcrumb for all the younger listeners out there that may want to, take their little footsteps into beauty.
Yeah.
It's so valuable. Thank you.
Thank you. And if I can say one more thing, I don't gatekeep. So if you have any questions for me, you want to learn more about the industry, please feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Where do we find you, girl?
Oh, Instagram. It's the best way. My Instagram is Chelsea, CHELSEA, last name SULEMUA. So
thank you so very much. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Make sure you subscribe. It helps every single time that you do, okay? Don't be afraid. We don't bite.
A beauty entertainment broadcast.